In 2013-14, the Montreal Stars went 5-0 against the Toronto Furies. But that was before Toronto received a bonus, the return of Olympians. And the Furies knocked off the Stars 2-1 in the shootout thanks to Natalie Spooner's goal, the only goal in the shootout session, to propel Toronto to the Clarkson Cup Championship game a year ago and en route to their first ever Clarkson's Cup Championship. Tonight, it is Montreal looking to exact an ounce of revenge as the Furies come to the Étienne Desmarteaux Arena. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CWHL Hockey on SSN. I'm John Bauer, flying solo here in Montreal this evening as we get set to bring you the Stars and the Furies. But first, we're going to pause for the playing of the national anthem. It's time for CWHL Hockey on SSN. Good evening, everybody. John Bauer with you from the Arena Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal as the Toronto Furies provide the opposition to the hometown Montreal Stars. It's time to meet the starting lineups in today's game, and we're going to begin with the visiting Toronto Furies. Getting the call between the pipes tonight is Christina Kessler. She is 1-1 with a 5.14 goals against average and an 885 save percentage. On the blue line, it will be Megan Bozick and Shannon Molson. Up front, it is Jessica Vella, Caroline Prévost, and Natalie Spooner. For the Stars tonight, getting the call between the pipes is Catherine Herron. It will be her second start of the season. She's 0-1 with a 4.14 goals against average and a 957 save percentage. On the blue line, it's Cathy Chartrand and Carly Hill. Up front, Carol Ouellette will center a line with Ann-Sophie Bate and Emmanuelle Blais. So those are the starting lineups in today's game. The third team on the ice are the officials, led by the two referees, Gabrielle Adriano Lortie and Vanessa Morin. On the blue line, it will be Stephanie Gagnon and Martine Charon. So those are the three crews out on the ice tonight in this first matchup of the season between the Stars and the Furies. It is Montreal's second home game of the season. They were shut out in the home opener back on October 29th by the Boston Blades 2-0 here at the Desmarteaux Arena. Coming into the game, Montreal is 4-4 after two games were won by forfeit last weekend due to a player ineligibility situation in Boston. Toronto comes into the game with a record of 2-2. They are 1-2 away from the MasterCard Center in Toronto. So that sets the scene for today's game. And of course, as we mentioned right off the top, Toronto eliminated Montreal in the last game of the round-robin portion of the Clarkson Cup last year. It was Natalie Spooner who scored the game-winning goal in the shootout for the Furies, which helped propel them onto their championship. Of course, one day later they won the Clarkson Cup with a 1-0 overtime victory over the Boston Blades. We're just waiting for the game pucks to arrive on the ice right now. Noémie Marin brings them over, and we'll deliver them over to the penalty bench area, and we are getting set to drop the puck on today's game. Montreal was 5-0, as we mentioned off the top of the broadcast last year against Toronto, but when it counts, when it counted the most, Toronto came up big with the 2-1 win. We are underway. Glad you're along with us here on SSN. Blais brings the puck in over the line of the right wing side of the half wall now. Into the corner, tries to center it for Bette. That hits a skate, and Prévost comes up with it for Toronto. Molson behind her own net for the Furies. Will try to play it up the near side, but Ouellette gets to the wall first. It's knocked away from big number 13 by Spooner, and Toronto will reverse it over to the near side. Chartrand comes over to the wall, gets there ahead of Spooner, and plays it down low for Ouellette. She tried to play it behind the net for Blais, as Molson and Ouellette are locked up in a battle along the boards. And now Bozek comes up with it up the far side for Prévost. Prévost sweeps it out to center. It's broken up there by Chartrand, and it's tipped into the offensive zone by Blais as Montreal goes for a line change. Bozek brings it over the line, takes a rising slap shot over the bar. As Spooner comes into the forecheck, left side now cuts towards the goal, takes the shot. Blocker stopped there by Héron as the puck comes back to the blue line. And Prévost will settle it down there for Toronto. She'll send it in towards the Montreal goal behind the net. Spooner comes out, spins, fires. Kick stop there by Héron. Puck out the far side. Emmanuel Blais, the only player yet to change up here. Her and Ouellette have yet to change up as Ouellette tries to spring Marin free. Into the offensive zone she goes. Bonello bodies her into the wall. As Dupuis goes to the far side, gets the puck first, sweeps it towards the goal, gathered in there by Laurel Hill. She plays it to the near wing where it's cleared out by Kohanchuk. Arts in the corner. Kohanchuk now with the puck for Toronto, battling with Julie Chu. Chu sweeps the puck away from her, all the way over to the far corner. Arts gets there first for Toronto, but a good job there by Tardif for the Stars to get to the puck. And now playing it over the near side will be Rougeau. And Montreal will lift the puck out to center. Hill plays it over to the far side. Arts will sweep the puck down the ice as Toronto goes for a line change as we approach the 2-minute mark of the opening period. No score in the hockey game between the Stars and the Furies. Rougeau skates it towards the Toronto blue line. She is sealed off there. French comes up with it in her own zone, plays it over to Tessa Bonham up the far side. It'll be tipped into the offensive zone by Corey Chevery. And Allen steals now with the pass up into the neutral zone by Rougeau, and sweeping it back deep into Montreal territory. Allen with a centering pass. It goes off of the skate, and it laid right in front for Chevery. She took a second shot and put it just wide beyond the outstretched leg of Héron. Pinching in from the left point, that's Bonham. Bonham behind the net. She tries to bring it out in front. The puck rolls off her stick, and Emily Bocchia comes up with it for Montreal. Over to the far side for Provo. She could not advance it in deep as Bro takes it to the far side. Carol Ouellette providing a bit of backside support, as is Emmanuel Blais, and Ouellette will come up with the puck out of the scrum. Plays it to the left side for Bette. She'll skate it out to center. Bette sweeps it into the right wing corner, giving chases Blais. Back to play it for Toronto is Molson. Bette and Blais behind the net. Blais held up there by Molson. She got the pass in front of that, and a penalty coming up here to Toronto as Molson locked up Blais long enough to get the whistle as Blais fell to the ice, and Montreal goes to the first power play of the hockey game. It's a hooking call at 3 minutes and 14 seconds of the opening 20. Montreal on the season, 4 for 24 on the power play, 16.7% efficiency. Toronto on the penalty kill. They've killed off 15 of the 18 penalties that they've been assessed this season for an 83.3% efficiency. Chu keeps the puck in at the left point, plays it over to the vacant right wing. Bonello up with it for Toronto. She'll skate it towards the blue line and put it into her own bench. So the faceoff will come back in deep to the left of Kessler with 1:47 to go in the Stars' advantage. Let's set up the power play here for you as Ouellette centers the line with Marin and Bette on the blue line. It is Chu and Chartrand on the right side. And we'll get to Toronto's PK in a moment. Here's Chu with a slap shot. Big rebound picked up there by Bette. She'll take it over to the near side. Bette back to the line for Chartrand. Right side for Chu. She now changes positions with Chartrand. Big slap shot. It hit Marin in front of the net. And coming up there with it is Kohanchuk, and she will skate it out to center. She's got Bozek on the near side. Kohanchuk takes the shot. It goes off of Chartrand's leg. The second attempt gets through, and a kick stop there by Héron. Bozek plays it in deep as Toronto goes for a line change here. A minute gone by in the Toronto penalty as Prévost brings it in, but it is ruled a glove pass against the Stars. So the face-off will come back in Montreal territory. The second power play, it'll come just outside of the Montreal blue line. Caroline Prévost takes the draw for Toronto. She's joined by Natalie Spooner, Tessa Bonhomme, and French, as Provo has it for the Stars. She'll backhand it into the offensive zone. Kim Deschênes gives chase. She gets to the boards and knocks the puck down. She loses a handle on it, and Prévost picks her pocket and brings it out to center. Passing it over to the right side here, Spooner. Spooner in, goes wide. Spooner with a shot that goes well wide of the target. Deschênes, the former Montreal Carabin, plays it out to center. Dupuis on the right side now for Provo. Provo back to the blue line it goes. Carly Hill to Lauriane Rougeau. Left side of the half wall for Dupuis. Back to Rougeau. Give and go with Dupuis. She comes in off of the wall, gives it to Deschênes. Deschênes into the slot. Provo's stick was not on the ice, and the puck just trickled underneath it. Rougeau with it. At the left point, being pressured there by Prévost. Bonhomme taking Dupuis to the boards. French comes up with it for Toronto, has her stick lifted, but she is able to get it to the boards. But Dupuis comes up with it. He'll go into the front of that. Dupuis fence on the centering attempt. The second attempt. Deschênes scores! Kim Deschênes knocked the puck out of the air. Originally, they pointed to the goal, and then the referee gives a washout signal. And we'll have to see if the goal is a good goal or not. She may have been giving the washout to indicate that that the goal that it was not a high stick, and that's exactly what it seems to be. As the faceoff is coming at center ice, so the Stars score. Kim Deschênes bats the puck out of the air and taps it through the wickets of the netminder Kessler, and it's 1-0 Montreal. Time of the goal, 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the first period. So Deschênes picks up the goal to give the Stars a 1-0 lead. And that is Kim Deschênes' first goal in the CWHL. So Provo gets the lone assist on the opening goal of the hockey game. It's 1-0 Montreal. Bozek behind her net. Being bothered there by Bocchia as the puck comes out to center. Now it's sent back into Toronto territory on the far side. Julie Allen knocks the puck back with her skate to Alyssa Baldwin, and she'll lift it out to center. There's a broken stick in the middle of the neutral zone. So Stacey Tardif skates the puck in, has the puck chopped off her lumber, and back the other way. Here's Beezer. Beezer in, tries to roll it in front, but it goes off of a stick. And behind the net now, it's the captain, Cathy Chautramp, starting the rush up left side for Carol Ouellette. Ouellette in over the line left side. Feathers it in play, goes to the goal with a shot, and the glove stopped by Kessler. She snared out that left hand to rob the Stars right there. Carly Hill at the right point, wrists it towards the goal. It goes wide. Behind the net, it comes out. Blais takes it over to the board. She's battling with Bonello. Bette comes in, pulls the puck free, plays it back to Chautramp. Far side Hill, slap shot, gets through as Blais was in front of the goal but couldn't get her stick on the puck to redirect it past Christina Kessler, who was down to the butterfly to make the stop. 13:07 to go in period number 1. 1-0 Montreal. The goal scorer, Kim Deschênes, her first career CWHL goal at 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the first period. The assist going to Marie-Ève Provost. Face off to the left of Kessler. Julie Chu will be out there to take the draw for Montreal against Katie Wilson of Toronto. Alliance person talking to the Montreal player, Cassandra Dupuis, on the far wall, telling her to stay in position and not encroach on the face-off circle. Chu with it for Montreal. Back to the blue line. Here's a shot from Boetz. That is blocked, and she will try to feather it back in deep, but it's picked off there by Bonhomme, and come back the other way comes Toronto. In over the blue line, left side. This Wilson, she tries to send it through. It goes out the back door. And Dagenet battling now for it along the near boards with Carrie Madimo for Toronto. The puck is played around to the far side. Dupuis backhands it to Julie Chu. Dagenet behind the net. She'll chip it ahead over the left side for Virginie Bouetz to Marin. And Noémie Marin plays it in deep as the Stars go for a line change. French tries to get it, play it around the forechecking Fanny DeForge for the Stars, and here is Provo with it. Over to the right side for Lauriane Rougeau. Rougeau down to the half boards, she goes. And she'll leave it there for Bacchia. Back to the blue line, it goes with a drive. That was kicked aside. As this puck stays locked up on the near side. Bacchia again. She gets tangled up there with DeForge, but she is able to power it to the front of the goal with a wrist shot, but no space for the puck to slide through there as Kessler was hugging the post and holding on, as we have now played 8 minutes and 23 seconds of the opening period. It is 1-0 Montreal on Deschênes' goal. Well, that will take the draw to the right of Kessler, and she'll be facing it off against Jessica Vella. Puck comes over to the hash marks on the near side. Bette up with it. Bette into the corner, tries to center it out in front to Ouellette, but it was just out of her reach. And back the other way comes Toronto. Spooner plays it just over the blue line, but cutting across the grain was Prévost when she was offside, and she touched the puck to stop the play. Friends, a reminder that you too can vote for the captains of the first ever CWHL All-Star Game coming up on Saturday, December the 12th at Air Canada Centre. Go to the CWHL website to vote today. Molson plays it up the middle there where Kohanchuk gets it up to the red line, but it's dumped back in by Hill. In her own zone, skating to the near side, that is Bozic. Up the middle for Arts. She has to sidestep the check of Hills. The puck rolls to the far side. Back to play it is Chartrand. She'll roll it around the boards to the near side. Bette ahead at center for Ouellette. Ouellette and Baldwin battling for the puck, and Caroline Ouellette. Carol will get the gate for slashing. So Toronto goes to its first power play of the hockey game. Toronto 2 for 18 with the advantage this season. The league's worst power play, 11.1%, but as I mentioned, they've only had 18 power play opportunities through 4 games this season. Montreal's PK, 16 of 19, 84.2% efficiency. No power play goals, shorthanded goals yet this season for the Stars. In fact, there's only one in the league to date, and that's Montgomery Fielding from Brampton, who scored 2 weeks ago against the Stars shorthanded. That's the only shorty this season in the league, which after last year, the number of shorthanded goals scored, just Montreal alone with 5 of them. It's a bit of a slow start on the PK for the teams thus far this season. Janelle Kohanchuk plays it over to the near side. Bozic was upended in her own zone by Noémie Marin. And Toronto will now skate it out to center. Here is Spooner gathering a head full of steam into the offensive zone. Goes wide right side. Tries to go top shelf. And she put it over the bar. She saw some daylight over the shoulder of Héron. But when she went roof daddy, she put it up out of play. So the faceoff will come back out in neutral ice. Deschênes and Dupuis up front for Montreal. Chartrand and Dagenet on the blue line. Toronto sends out their Baldwin, Chevry, and Arts, who has the puck, takes the shot. She missed the far post by a couple of inches. Now on the blue line, it's Bonello and Molson as Toronto will have to go back into its own zone here with 50 seconds to go on the power play. Kessler banks the puck off of the boards, and Chevry brings it into the Montreal zone. Cross-ice pass. Arts fakes the shot, spins towards the far boards. Watch there by Dupuis. Plays it back to the blue line. Here's the slap shot that was knocked down in front. Molson with the drive that did not get through. And Kessler will turn the puck over. Bette gives it to Blais. Blais in, shoots, and a blocker stop by Kessler as she plays the puck over the glass and out of play after turning the puck over, trying to clear it and start the rush on the counterattack for Toronto. But Bette got to the boards just inside the blue line, keeping it onside, and was able to spring Blais free in between the rings. And then she let a wrister go that Kessler was able to recover and knock the puck over the glass and out of play. Bozic behind her own net now with 20 seconds to go in Toronto's first power play of the hockey game, trailing 1-0. She'll dish to Spooner on the right side. Spooner slams the brakes on at the top of the faceoff circle. Back to Bunham. She tries to get a little kiss off of the stick of Prévost at the side of the net. That didn't work. And Montreal clears it out to center as stepping back onto the ice is Caroline Ouellette. Curling at center and laying it up the right side, that was Julie Allen. Prévost with a shot that is easily sticked aside to the far side by Héron. Blais tries to clear it. She got it to the blue line, and on the follow-up attempt, Wetz will get it out to center. Kohanchuk back in her own zone for Toronto. Sidesteps the check of Ouellette. Now makes a nifty little pass on the left side for Katie Wilson. Solo player rush for the Toronto team as Wilson takes it into the corner. It feathers it out in front of the net. It hit a stick and bounced up in the air. As streaking in was Zamora. And now Ouellette will start on the counterattack for Montreal. Gives it to Liz Breton. There's a shot by Ouellette on the give and go. She took it back and just missed the far post. Hill punched at the blue line, looking for a call as she was just shoved to the ice by Carrie Madimo. Ouellette behind the goal for Montreal. Spins away from Hill. Plays it back to Hill for Montreal. The other Hill on the ice. Bro, back to Ouellette. Ouellette tries to feather it through. Over to the near side. Here's Chelsea Saunders with a shot. It hits a skate, goes back to Carly Hill at the blue line. She falls again, and she will play it in deep and go for a line change here as she twice fell to the ice on that last sequence of events for Montreal. Wilson into the offensive zone for Toronto. She's the only white jersey up there as the Furies go for a line change with 7:15 to go in the first period. 1-0 Montreal. Here is Marie-Ève Provost for Montreal. She'll play it in deep. Bozic back for Toronto. Up the near side. Chivary tips it ahead for Beezer. Beezer to Allen on the left wing side. She overskated the puck, but Beezer is able to keep it onside. Back to the line it goes. Molson with a shot. Tipped in front! And a stop there by Héron, who was going in the butterfly, going right to left, and was in the right place at the right time to make the stop with 6:52 to go in the opening period. Face off to the right of Héron. Beezer facing it off against Chu, and Chu wins it back in behind her own net. Noémie Marin up the near side. Here is Julie Chu. She is checked there by Allen, who was able to lift the stick of the U.S. captain. And that allows Toronto to control in their own zone. Bozic skating to center. Cross ice left side, knocked down by Chu, but right onto the stick of Beezer, and she will fire it in deep. Prévost giving chase as Toronto goes for a line change, flushing Cathy Chartrand out the right side. She comes over to the near side for Chu, and Julie Chu will play it to Marin, who will tip it in deep as Montreal will go for a line change. The pass out to center on the right side. Here's Spooner. Spooner trying to get around Dagenet. She puts the brakes on at the right wing faceoff circle. She's double teamed now by Bette and Dagenet. And Spooner now comes up with it in the slot. Tips it over to the near side. Prévost into the blue crease area. Vela couldn't get her stick on it. As Dagenet has it behind the net. Comes right up the middle. Steal! Shot! Stopped by Héron. The puck is bouncing through the air. And I think Toronto's getting a penalty for goaltender interference as Vela fell on top of Héron as she was spinning to try and find that puck that was up in the air. Julie Chu also diving on the puck. And it is Jessica Vela getting the gate here for Toronto. So Montreal goes to its second power play of the hockey game. 0 for 1 on the advantage. Face-off coming deep in Furies territory. Kohanchuk will take the face-off. She is joined on the PK by Tessa Bonham, Megan Arts, and the captain, Michelle Bonello, as Toronto will send the puck deep into Montreal territory. Aron turns the disc over. She puts it right into the paraphernalia of Arts. Caro Ouellette will start the rush up. She has Marin on the right side. Bette at the back of the V. Ouellette goes in behind the goal. Comes out far side. Gives it to Cathy Chartrand. Over to Julie Chu with a slap shot. Hits the skate of Bonello in front, and it comes over to the near corner. Bette comes up with it. Goes to the front of the goal. Hauled down. And another penalty coming to Toronto. So the Stars will have a two-player advantage as a hooking call coming up here to the Furies. Janelle Kohanchuk getting the gate. So Montreal with a glorious opportunity to extend its 1-0 lead here in the first period. They're on a 5-on-3 power play for the next 127 or less. Face-off controlled by the Stars. Here's Chartrand. Ouellette at the left point. Looking for a pass, gives it to Chartrand. Down low to Bette. Bette out of the right wing corner to Chartrand. Over to Ouellette, left point. Over to Chartrand with a drive. It hits a stick in front. Bouncing through the back door. Chu tips it over to the far side of the Stars. Score as Marin knocks the puck into the cage. A power play goal. It's 2-0 Montreal. Noémie Marin with her second of the season, a power play marker. And the Stars take a 2-0 lead. 15:09 is the time of the goal. That puck was bouncing all over the place. And like the first goal, where the puck was knocked out of the air by Kim Deschênes, Marin takes the Bette knocks the puck out of the air. It bounces through the blue crease and out the back door right to Marin, and she was able to tip it home for her second of the campaign. And just like that, the Stars are up 2-0 and still on the power play. Here's Carly Hill bringing the puck in over the line of the right wing side. Top of the faceoff circle, tries to feather it through for Provo. That doesn't connect. So the other assist goes to Julie Chu, and it's 2-0 for the Stars. They're still on the power play as Aron plays it up to Dupuis. Dupuis, right side for Kim Deschênes. The puck rolled off her stick, and the Fury will send the Stars back deep into their own zone. Carly Hill on the right wing side. Passes it up to Cassandra Dupuis. Dupuis left side for Rougeau. Rougeau in, wrist shot, stopped by Kessler, and she will freeze the puck. 45 seconds to go in the penalty to Kohanchuk. And 3:54 to play in period number 1. 2-0 Montreal. Ouellette, Marin, Bette up front. Chu and Chartrand on the blue line. That is Natalie Spooner taking the face-off for Toronto. Bette, number 24 for Montreal. Back to Chu. Right side, tip pass by Chartrand for Caro Ouellette. She couldn't control it. Bonello gives chase. Behind the net there, that is Bonham and Bette as Julie Chu comes up with it. Chu to the front of the goal, takes the shot as she tried to reverse the flow of traffic and almost caught the near post. Spooner comes down low in her own zone and will gather the disc in and roll it down the ice. Right in on the netminder, Catherine Aron for the Stars. It will play it up the ice quickly. 5 seconds to go in the power play for Montreal. And Bozek controlling for Toronto as Kohanchuk steps back on the ice for the Torontonians. Cathy Chartrand backpedaling at her own blue line and in deep in her own zone with 3 minutes to go in the first period. Her pass is picked off. Beezer with it. Wrist shot. Scores! Brooke Beezer takes a gift in the slot and puts it home to get Toronto back in this hockey game with 2:50 to go in the first period. So, just like that, Toronto comes right back and scores to cut the lead in half, and that will be Beezer's first of the season for the Furies. So 2 minutes and 1 second after Montreal takes a 2-0 lead, Toronto responds to cut the lead in half. So it's an unassisted goal as Fanny DeForge brings the puck into the offensive zone, left side. Tries to play it back to the blue line. Dagenet keeps it just onside. Her wrist shot hits Chevry in the shin guards, and it bounces out to center. Tardif gives it to Provost, who plays it back deep in her own zone to complete the line changes. Tardif banks it off the near boards. French mishandles it at her own blue line, and the puck rolls deep into Toronto territory. Bonhomme sweeps it to Wilson. Wilson up the near side. She'll play it up the middle. Bette upended and back the other way. Here is Kerry Marimo. She gets it into the Star zone, but not for very long as Carol Ouellette brings it back the other way. Ouellette into Toronto territory, battling with Bonhomme. And French comes up with it for the Furies. 1:45 to go in the first period. 2-1 Montreal. Laurent Rougeau deep in her own territory for the Stars. Comes right up the middle. Bette has to help her out by tipping the puck away from Bonhomme. And play is knocked down in neutral ice. French up the near side for Prévost. Prévost has her pocket picked just inside the blue line by Virginie Boetz. And Noémie Marin will play it in deep. Julie Chu giving chase. Chu settles the puck down behind the goal with 1:10 to go in the first period. This is Spooner. Goes right up the middle. Intercepted there by Carly Hill. The wrist shot knocked down in front by Chu, and she takes it over to the far side. Here's Marin with it. Marin tries to find Chu, but coming back to play it is Vela, and she'll play it up the near side. Chartrand now pinches in with the wrist shot, knocked down in front by French. French battling for the puck. Cathy Chartrand behind the goal. She goes centering pass. Marin is on the doorstep, but going down and smothering the disc with her mitt is Kessler, and she will force a stoppage in play with 44 seconds to go in the first period. Face off to the left of Kessler, who at the moment is putting the net back on its mooring. Baldwin taking the face off against Ouellette. Ouellette locked up there, and coming through off the face off was Arts, and she'll get it to the blue line, but not out. Here's Blais in the slot, gives it to Bette. Bette tries to sweep it back to Blais. It goes through her skates to the far corner. Ouellette, back to the line it goes. Here's Tardif with a shot, knocked down in front by Bonello. Bonello sidesteps the check of Ouellette as she gets it out to center ice. Arts offside at the blue line, so Toronto will have to tag up and come back in with 15 seconds to go in the period. Ouellette tips it out to center. Here's Bette. 10 seconds on the clock, but she was stood up at the blue line by Arts and Bonello, and when she turned, she put herself offside to end the rush for Montreal. 9.3 seconds to go in the opening period. 2-1, the Stars on top. DeForge will take the draw for Montreal. Bocchia gives chase as the puck goes into Toronto territory. Bonello plays it safely to the far left wing as time will expire here in period number 1. So the Stars score the first 2 goals of the hockey game. Kim Deschênes at 5:14 from Marie-Ève Provost. And then just under 10 minutes later at 15:09, it was Noémie Marin with her second of the campaign from Bette and Chu on the power play. That made it 2-0 in favor of Montreal. But a minute and 59 seconds later, a costly turnover in the defensive zone as the Toronto forward Brooke Beezer steals and snaps a shot past Aron, and that's where we stand after 20 minutes of play. It's 2-1 Toronto. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Gong Show Lifestyle Hockey Apparel, by Bauer, Bridge Force, Sportsnet, the official television broadcaster of the CWHL, Tim Hortons, Under Armour, WestJet, Winsport Canada, Molson Coors. So it's 2-1 Montreal after 20 minutes of play. When we come back, we will roll on with our first intermission, including a stats pack and a look back at the week that was in the CWHL. It is Montreal 2, Toronto 1 after 20 minutes of play. You're watching CWHL hockey on SSN.
And everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics, and at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics, and at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes down. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics, and at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds. Shot scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes down. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it. Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics, and at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds. Shot scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
I've been in
Christina Kessler is the starting goaltender in today's game. You just saw her in the Insurance Bureau of Canada commercial, a proud sponsor of the CWHL. And she's between the pipes tonight. She gave up a pair of goals in the opening 20 minutes as Montreal has a 2-1 lead on the Toronto Furies here at the Etienne Desmarteau Arena in Montreal. So we're just getting set to get back here underway in the second period. But before we do that, we're going to get you some statistics on the opening period. And once we have the everything up and running here in the booth, we will be able to give you the scores, the shots on goal and everything. So going back to that first period of play, as we said, Kim Deschênes, she scored on the power play at 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the opening period. That made it 1-0. That was her first ever CWHL goal, the former CIS Player of the Year, and champion with the Montreal Carabins. At 5:14, the helper going to Marie-Ève Provost. Montreal took a 2-0 lead on a power play goal by Noémie Marin at 15:09. Julie Chu and Ann-Sophie Bate getting the helpers. And then Brooke Beezer, excuse me, getting the Toronto response. 1 minute and 59 seconds, excuse me, 2 minutes and 1 second later. That shows why I am broadcasting and not doing actuarial math, as the time of the goal is at 17:10. Beezer and Chevery getting the assist on the goal. And that's where we stand after one period of play. Shots on goal in the first period favored Montreal by a total of 10-7. So 2-1 Montreal after 20 minutes of play. We said at the top of the broadcast that last week Montreal was supposed to play a pair of games in Boston, but ended up winning by forfeit due to some unfortunate circumstances. So those games will not be made back up. But going forward, Montreal is sitting at 4-4 as we quickly approach the halfway point of the season. Montreal 4 wins and 4 losses, but they've only played once, and that was here at the Desmarteau Arena back on October 29th. Toronto brings the puck into the Montreal zone. Here is Spooner now. Spooner plays it behind the back to in deep, And Cathy Chartrand will play it over to the near side. Willette picks it up and plays it over to Blais. As Molson will play it back in offside. We play 31 seconds of the first period, of the second period. As Meg Hewins actually just up here in the booth, we're talking a little bit during the intermission about the upcoming All-Star Game and some of the exciting events that will be surrounding that All-Star Game, including the game on the 12th of December being broadcast live on Sportsnet, our television partner for the CWHL. And very soon we'll have an exciting announcement as to who's going to be doing the broadcast, but somebody who's a big fan of the CWHL is what the little birdie is telling me. And I think that CWHL fans will be very, very pleased by the announcement of who the play-by-play person will be for the All-Star Game. Rougeau plays it over to the near side. Bonello pinching in, takes the wrist shot, and it goes wide. Art centers it, but curling back down is Dupuis, and she'll come up with it. On the near side, Marin brings it into the offensive zone. Dupuis goes after the puck, overskates it, now catches up to the disc, plays it in behind the goal. Hill over the far side and chipped out to center by Julie Allen. So Montreal brings it back in. Marin has her pocket picked just inside the blue line by the captain, Michelle Bonello. And Arts will skate it to the Montreal blue line. She doesn't touch it as her teammate Beezer was offside. So that gives the Stars a free breakout, but Rougeau being bothered there by Allen. Rougeau still continues with the puck. I think Allen's getting a slashing penalty. Centering pass for Dupuis. It goes into her skates. And it is a high sticking call, actually, that's coming up here to Julie Allen of Toronto. Montreal, which was 2 for 3 on the power play in the opening period, goes back to the advantage on the slashing call to Julie Allen. So out there to kill the penalty for Toronto will be Chevry and Beezer. And up front, or on the blue line, it will be Bonhomme and French. Willette give and go with Chartrand. Chartrand left side, takes the pass back, tipped in front by Marin, and a kick save there by Kessler as the puck goes out the far side. Here is Marin at the left point. Gives it there to Chu. Chu to Chartrand, goes around to the right side for Willette. Slap shot, stopped by Kessler. Willette plays it back to the blue line, but a good diving play there by Beezer to knock the puck out to center. Here is Julie Chu just inside her own blue line, being forced back there by Chevry. Pass to the far side for Chartrand. She comes over to the near wing for Willette, leaves it there for Chu, and she will skate it to the red line. Now try to pass it back to Willette, but it's knocked down inside the blue line by Bozic, and the puck is played out of play. And actually that was Tara French who played the puck down the ice, and it goes off of a Montreal player out of the rink. A minute 7 to go in the power play here for the Stars as the number 2 unit comes out here. Deschênes with Provost and Dupuis. Hill and Rougeau on the blue line for Montreal. Spooner out there on the PK with Vela. Molson and Allen on the back end. Bozic on the back end. Here's a centering pass broken up by Molson. Provost plays the puck to Dupuis. Dupuis to the left wing corner. Deschênes couldn't come up with it cleanly. It comes back to the line. Here's Rougeau. She fakes the shot. Dishes off. And the puck is tipped out to center by Vela. Vela ahead to Bozic. Bozic in over the line, short-handed rising shot that goes into the blocker of the netminder Heron. And behind her own net, here is Laurien Rougeau. Passes to Dupuis on the right side to Kim Deschênes in over the blue line. Deschênes looking for a pass in front, feathers it in on goal. Kessler with the kick save. The puck rolls back to the left point where it is tipped down low. Here's Deschênes, the opening goal scorer for Montreal, powers it towards the goal with a wrist shot, and Kessler with a stop with 4 seconds to go in the power play. Face-off coming to the right of Kessler. Breton-Lebreu will flank on the right side. Fanny DeForge in the middle of the rink, and Bacchia on the left wing. As right off the draw, Bonello will send it out to center. And Toronto steals, and they almost had a two-player breakaway, but the player jumping over the boards from the bench was Megan Arts, and she was offside as she was coming off of the far end of the bench and was about a half of stride inside the blue line trying to get out of the zone to allow the break or the rush to come to fruition for Toronto. Breton-Lebreu brings the puck into the offensive zone, but it's broken up there. Arts now gives it to Kowenchuk. Kowenchuk goes wide, right side, backhands it in on goal, and Aron will make the stop and hold on. So one thing that this game has been lacking a bit of is a bit of flow, and Montreal has been off for the better part of the last month with the break for the Four Nations Cup, and then of course with the game the games last week being postponed in Boston. It means Montreal's played 2 games. Here's a chance in front. Art scores, and she ties the game. Megan Arts was standing just in front of Kat Héron, and she took the puck and just shoveled it underneath the Montreal goalkeeper, and we are tied at 2, an even strength marker at 4 minutes and 26 seconds of the second period. And Toronto has come back to tie the game. So Megan Arts will get the goal for Toronto, her first of the campaign. But I'm back in her own zone. Almost turns the puck over. So the helpers going to Prévost and Kowenchuk at 4:26 of the second period. Arts getting her first of the season, and we're tied at a deuce. Chu will face it off in the neutral zone against Beezer. And off the face-off, Toronto will control, skating it out of their own zone. That is Bozic. She's flushed back now by Dupuis, and she'll dish it off to Molson. Molson up the left side. Hits Allen with the lead pass in the skates, and Montreal comes back in over the blue line the other way. Powering it towards the goal, that was Noémie Marin. Puck rolls over to the near side. Julie Chu with a rising shot, and a stop by Kessler as she took it in the left shoulder. Back to the blue line it goes. A give and go as Chartrand could not keep the puck inside the blue line as Julie Chu and her were having a keep away contest just inside the blue line. Now coming back the other way for Toronto. Here with the slap shot there was Bozic. And holding on this time is the netminder Héron for the face-off deep in Montreal territory. So 2-2 the score on the goal by Arts at 4:26 of this second period. Montreal had a 2-0 advantage on a pair of power play goals in the first period. Ouellette out there to take the face-off to the left of Héron for the Stars. She's thrown out of the draw. Bette comes in to take it, and she's out there against Vela. Toronto controls. Prévost with a shot that gets through. Héron kicks it over to the far side. Toronto's got a little bit of pep and a little bit of inspiration here as they've come back from a 2-0 deficit to tie the game. Spooner gives it to Vela, back to the blue line. It goes off of the skate of the right point player, and Bonello will slap it towards the goal. Here's Prévost in the corner. She's upended. Spooner takes it towards the goal with a backhand shot that goes wide. Pinching in for the right point as Montreal is going to be penalized here on a trip, I believe, in the corner. Actually, it's a holding call, but that took away the scoring chance, and going off for Montreal will be Laurent Rougeau. So the Stars, who killed off their only penalty of the hockey game back in the first period, are shorthanded for the second time, Montreal's 2 for 4 on the power play. Toronto 0 for 1. As Kessler is over at the bench getting some equipment repairs done. So that's the delay for us getting back underway here on the power play. Prévost will be out. Prévost will be out there at center for Toronto. Excuse me, no, it'll be Kohenchuk taking the draw for Toronto. Prévost and Allen up front. Spooner on the blue line with Allen. The penalty kill for the Stars, it will be Chu out there with Marin. And on the blue line, it is the captain Chartrand with Carly Hill. A slap shot that comes in from the right point from Bozic. That is gloved by the netminder Héron for a face-off again in the same place. 5 seconds have ticked off on the power play for the Furies. Chartrand sends it towards the blue line. Here's Allen with it. Allen skates across the face of the blue line, takes the shot going low, and blocking it there was Julie Chu. Chartrand behind the net, plays it to Carly Hill. She'll reverse it over to the near side. Spooner at the point, battling for the puck, trying to keep it in as Marin will kick it out to center. Bozic back at her own blue line on the power play for Toronto to Kohenchuk on the right side. Tries to play it in deep. Chartrand comes up with it. She hits her own player, Julie Chu, with the puck, and then she'll play it over to Hill, who will hammer it down the ice as Montreal goes for the long line change here on the PK. Kohenchuk dishes to Prévost on the near side. Allen at the blue line, had the puck knocked away from her by Carol Ouellette, who gives chase. Bozic back towards her own blue line. Ahead to Allen, right side. She'll tip it into the offensive zone as Toronto goes for a partial line change here on the power play. A minute gone by and a couple of shots in on goal already. Tardif will play the puck over to Chartrand, who hammers it off of the windows, and it goes over the glass and out of play. A minute to go in the power play for the Furies. 12:51 to go in the middle stanza. 2-2 is the score. Toronto on the power play here. As Montreal controls, Dagenet plays it behind the net and over to the near side. Molson pinching in from the left point to the half board. She has it. Looking for a play in front of the goal. She'll now skate it back towards the blue line. Dishing it off there to Balden. Balden gives it to Molson. Molson right side of the captain. Bonello, wrist shot, hits a player in front, and it comes over to the near side. Molson with it at the blue line. Under the watchful eye of Ouellette. Fires it through. Art scores! Her second of the hockey game as she tips it underneath Héron, and it's 3-2 Toronto on the power play goal. Art's second of the period as the Furies have now scored 3 straight goals to take a 3-2 lead. 7 minutes and 35 seconds is the time of the go-ahead goal on the power play. Breton-Lebreu taking the face-off against Wilson, and Toronto will control as French will roll it to the end of the offensive zone. Chelsea Saunders and the captain Chartrand with it. Chartrand lifts it in on the right wing side. Here's Kim Deschênes streaking towards the goal. Backhand shot stopped by Kessler. Deschênes again tries to power it out in front on the far side this time. She has it in front of the goal. She shoots, she scores! Kim Deschênes takes the pass from Breton-Lebreu in front of the goal to tie the game up. 7:59. 24 seconds after Toronto takes the lead. And Kim Deschênes scores her second of the hockey game and her second of her CWHL career. Three is the score. 2 goals in the span of 24 seconds. Here's Tessa Bonham in over the blue line. Bonham goes wide. Bonham towards the goal. Feathers it through. Had a great chance there as coming in was Zamora, but she couldn't get her stick down as she was being held up there by Bouetz. Here is Ouellette back the other way for Montreal into the corner right wing side. She'll feather it back to the blue line. Wrist shot by Bouetz. Knocked down in front by Blais, but it goes the wrong way, and Zamora will bring it out towards the blue line for Toronto. To Tessa Bonham on the right side, but coming up with there, that is Ann-Sophie Bette. She'll power it into the far corner. French back for Toronto as Ouellette comes in now. And Away with the puck is Holly Kerry Madimo, excuse me. And the puck goes behind the net. Ann-Sophie Bro, far side for Rougeau. Morin runs into her player at the blue line, and the Stars are bringing it in. Here's Chu with a wrist shot. Kessler with a kick save to the far corner. 10:50 to go in the second period. 3-3 the score. As the pace starts to pick up here as we approach the midway point of the hockey game. Bro with a backhand pass up the middle. At center ice, Beezer will play it back in deep as Julie Chu now has it. She'll come over to the right wing side for Dupuis at center. Dupuis into the offensive zone, sidesteps the check of Molson. Bozic back behind her net. She'll roll it up the far side. Tardif keeps it in, takes the shot, tipped in front by Dupuis. And a kick stop again by Kessler. Morin goes hard to the end wall in the far corner as coming up with it over on the near side for the Stars. That is Fanny DeForge. As Chevrolet drops down from the forward position to play it back to Molson. Molson behind her own goal, settling the puck down as we have played 30 minutes exactly of the hockey game, a 3-3 tie. DeForge with a wrist shot, knocked down in front by Vela. Vela lost her lumber and got it out to center. Now curling in the neutral zone, Prévost on the left wing side, gets it into the blue line where Tardif stands her up and separates her from the disc. DeForge back the other way for Hill on the right wing side. To the half boards now, to the corner she goes, centering pass. Ticked aside by Kessler. Pinching in is Provo for the Stars, and back behind her own net, that is Megan Bozic. She'll settle the puck down on a tee, and now start the rush up on the left wing side for Toronto. She'll gain the center red line and cut wide to the left wing side. Into the offensive zone she goes. Bozic with a backhand shot, and Héron, who is going down into a half butterfly, had to get her glove out to make the stop and hold on to keep this game score tied at 3. A hectic second period here at the Étienne Desmarteau Arena as we are tied at 3 apiece. So the Toronto Furies goal, Megan Arts, her second of the hockey game, or first of the hockey game, excuse me, at 4:26 makes it 2-2. Cohenchuk and Prévost with the assist on that goal. And then at 7:35, they're giving the goal to Molson. They're saying that Arts did not touch the puck on the way through, and Balden getting the other assist. So Toronto now shorthanded here as the Stars go back to the power play. They are 2 for 4, and a great chance there that is kicked aside by Kessler. Here's Chartrand giving it to Willette. Willette backhands it to the half boards now. Arts can't get it out. Bette back to the line for Chartrand to Willette right side. Willette will bank it off of the boards, tries to go to Bette, but coming up and playing it to the blue line was the captain Bonello. And Montreal will have to go back out to center, and they bring it back in. Chu tries to feather it in for Morin. Chu will now play it back to the blue line. Here's Chartrand. Chartrand gives it to Julie Chu. Back to Chartrand, winding, firing it just wide of the mark. A rising slapper that just missed the far post, and now Toronto will ice the puck as Megan Arts hammers it down the boards. A minute to go in the penalty to Megan Bozic. 8:22 to go in the second period. We are knotted up at 3. Chartrand comes up the middle in her own zone. Straight up the gut, lead pass for Provo just off of her stick, but she catches up to the disc in the offensive zone. She'll give it to Deschênes. She has a pair of goals tonight. Back to Provo. Back to the line it goes to Hill. Hill to Provo. And the pass is broken up there by French as she got her stick out on the cross-ice attempt. And back the other way comes Toronto. Prévost in the offensive zone, shorthanded here. She'll play it behind the net. And now Montreal's Carly Hill has to curl back at the goal line. Spooner steals in front, backhand shot, stopped by Héron as she picked the pocket of Hill, and now Montreal's back the other way on a 3-on-2 at the end of the power play. Dupuis with a shot, blocked by Molson, and here comes Prévost. Lead pass up the right wing side, out of the penalty box. Here's Bozic. Bozic in, wide right side. She's got Spooner going towards the goal. Bozic comes out, near side, tries to feather it through, and it goes right past everybody out the back door. Rougeau in her own zone now for Montreal. Will play it up the right wing side, just out of the reach of Dupuis. And Bonello will play it back into the offensive zone. Here is Vela. Vela centering pass. It's a stick in front and will be swept out to center ice by Bacchia. 7 minutes to go in the second period. 3-3 the score. And Toronto will ice the puck as Bonello sends the disc the length of the ice down the left wing side. Tonight's game is presented in part by Tim Hortons and by Under Armour, proud sponsors of the CWHL, as is WestJet, the official airline of the Canadian Women's Hockey League. Off the face-off, Saunders tries to power it towards the goal. Hill for Toronto, as there's two Hills out on the ice, one each side, will get it out to center. Bringing it in over the blue line was Allen, but Vela was offside on the left wing. 6:38 to go in the second period. 3-3 is the score in this very entertaining hockey game, as things have really picked up here in the second period. Lifting it out to center is Stacy Tardif. Bette will hammer it down the ice. Ouellette giving chase. Molson back to play it for Toronto. Kohenchuk up the far side, kept in at the blue line. Long shot that just goes wide by Sarah Dagenet. As Tardif will play it into the paraphernalia of Arts. And now Blais will play it down low in the corner. Shannon Molson now plays it up the far side. Bette tries to intercept. Pinching in is Dagenet. Kohenchuk battling for the puck. Blais tries to come up with it, pulling it out the backside, but now it's Toronto controlling in their own zone. Bozic up the near side for Balden. That was broken up by Tardif. Kohenchuk almost steals there. Arts goes to the ice to knock it down. Kohenchuk still battling for the puck, and now Montreal will clear it back down into Toronto territory as they start to get a bit of a line change. Manimo towards the goal it goes, and a stop by Héron, and then crashing the goal was Wilson as she was sniffing around for the rebound, trying to tuck it in behind the Montreal goaltender. So a big sports day. This is sports day in Canada, and earlier today in Montreal, just down the street, not more than a couple of kilometers from here, the Montreal Carabins winning the Vanier Cup. So congratulations to them, 20-19 over the McMaster Marauders. They had a chance to win the game, but a field goal was blocked in the dying seconds. So Montreal wins its first ever CIS football championship, and there are some Carabins on this Montreal Stars team. That's why I bring this up, because some of them have won the only championship for that institution in women's hockey. As Toronto comes in, Zamora with a shot that is gloved by Héron, and she will hold on. And speaking of Héron, she was one of the goalkeepers for Montreal as the Carabins, but a cross-checking call coming here at the end of the play will send Toronto back to the power play, seeking to take the lead, as getting the gate is Cassandra Dupuis. So Toronto 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. That was the goal that gave them the 3-2 lead here in the second period. Prévost, Allen, and Kohenchuk up front. Spooner and Allen on the blue line for the blue and white on this power play. Spooner's shot knocked down by Carly Hill. Kohenchuk far side, being bothered there by Bette. She'll take it behind the goal and comes out the near side. She gets it around Rougeau, leaves it on a tee there for Allen. Allen centering pass going low, and blocking it was Hill. It rolls back to the blue line. Here is Allen, Julie Allen, top of the umbrella. Excuse me, that's Bozic, top of the umbrella. Kohenchuk with a shot, big rebound. Spooner with a backhand shot that goes off of the glove of Héron, and over to the far side. Kohenchuk down low for Prévost. Behind that it goes. This is Allen. Allen to Spooner. Spooner dishes off to Megan Bozic. Bozic feathers it in for Allen, but Carol Ouellette got her stick into the passing lane and knocked it over to the near wall. Ouellette tries to settle this down to try and play it away from the Toronto forecheck with 1:07 to go on the power play. Spooner with a rising slapper that goes wide on the far side. Willett to the half boards. Kowenchuk got there to seal her off. And here's Spooner walking in. Spooner, wrist shot, hit her own player, Allen, in front of the net, and she goes down in a heap in front of the goal. She took that wrist shot, it looks like in the midsection, and she is slow to get off as Toronto continues on the power play, but deep in their own zone. Bozic starting their rush up for Toronto on the right side. There were way too many red shirts on the ice there as Bozic takes a snapshot. Heron with the kick save to the far side. Here's Arts now. Arts at the right point. Goes to the half boards for Baldwin's centering pass. Chevery's shot goes off the stick of Stacey Tardif in front of the goal and out of play. But Montreal was very fortunate as 5 red jerseys were coming back on the back check. Unfortunately, Montreal shorthanded, but the player, whoever it was, jumped back in and was able to get back to the bench as the coaches were yelling, get off, get off, get off, and thus avoiding a 5-on-3 two-player advantage. Carol Willett has the puck off of the face-off. She'll give it to Cathy Chartrand, who skates it over her own blue line. Playing it back now for Tardif. She'll slap it down the ice, and with 15 seconds to go in the power play, this will be Toronto's last rush. Molson starting it up on the left wing side. Stretch pass up the middle for Arts. She kisses into the offensive zone, but Chartrand will intercept and send it down the ice. 3 minutes to go in the second period, tied at 3, and we're back at full strength. Bonello behind her own net. Plays it over to the near side for Molson. Molson in the right corner behind the net again for for Bonello. And up the far side it goes. Willett plays it in. The wrist shot there by Bakke is kicked aside by Kessler. Forge battling along the far side with Baldwin. Provo also has her stick in there, trying to poke the puck free. She does, but Molson is there, and Toronto's getting a penalty as Baldwin got her stick caught up in the feet of Marie-Ève Provo for the Stars. And as she goes down to the ice, Montreal goes back to the power play. 2 for 4 on the hockey game. So the face-off will be to the right of Kessler. Let's set up the Montreal power play for you. Chu up front with Marin and Bette, Willett and Chartrand on the blue line for Toronto. Beezer taking the face-off. And up with it right there is Tessa Bunham. She'll play it over to the near side. Here's Vela, short-handed. Vela in, shoots, and a stop by Heron as that shot kind of handcuffed her as the shot was close to the body, and a lot closer to the body and probably faster than most anybody other than Kathleen Heron was anticipating. The other PK player out there for Toronto is Tara French, number 11, at the right point position. Julie Chu to Chartrand to the far side. Up the boards for Bette. The puck rolls off her stick, and French seals her up against the boards, but Chartrand comes up with it. She'll turn it over as she tried to spot Marin streaking on the left side. Vela will play it back in deep on the PK. 1:30 to go in the power play. Just under 2 minutes to go in the second period. 3-3 is our score. Bringing the puck in is Marin. Marin drop pass for Julie Chu. Back to Marin. Behind the net she goes. She's got Bette in front of the goal. Chartrand makes her way over to the left point position to take the pass. Back down low for Chu. Chu to the half boards now. Back to Chartrand. Over to the right side for Willett. Willett goes cross ice to Chu. Chu back in front for Marin. The wrist shot goes well wide of the mark as a Toronto defender got their stick on it. Here's Chartrand winding and firing from the point. That goes a couple of feet wide. Far side. Chu down to the corner as she went to the boards, stealing the puck off there. Her and Bunham battling for the puck. Here's Marin with it. Tries to feather it back to the blue line and a turnover. And here's a 2-on-1 developing for Toronto. Prévost going wide, left side, winding, shooting. Kick saved by Heron. Bunham with it in the far corner. 35 seconds to go in the Toronto penalty kill, and this is where they like to be, in the offensive zone. 1 minute to go in the second period. 3-3 is the score. Carol Willett bringing the puck in over the line of the right wing side. Tries to feather it out in front. Baldwin's skate got in the way of that. Spooner comes over to the near boards. The star player goes to the ice. That was Marin. And the Furies are able to clear the puck down into Montreal territory. 10 seconds to go in the Montreal power play. 35 seconds left in the frame. On the left side, here's Provo, into the offensive zone. Feathers it through. Dupuis gets it in on goal, and a kick save by Kessler as Montreal tries to power it out in front. Baldwin back on the ice after the PK. And on the right wing side here, Spooner. Spooner in, takes a shot. Oh, she let a howitzer go from in tight that just went wide on the near side. Rougeau back in her own zone with 10 seconds to go. Being chased there by Natalie Spooner. Backhands it over to the near side for Hill. Hill up the boards for Dupuis. She'll skate it out to center ice, and that will do it for the middle stanza. A period that saw 3 goals, 2 of them scored by Toronto, as Toronto took the lead for a brief period of time. And when I say brief, I mean 24 seconds brief. As after 40 minutes of play, the score is 3-3. Let's run down the scoring summary after 40 minutes of play. And we begin in the first period. Kim Deschênes with her first ever CWHL goal at 5:14 from Marie-Ève Provost and Cassandra Dupuis. That makes it 1-0. Noémie Marin scores on the power play as well at 15:09 from Julie Chu and Ann-Sophie, and that makes it 2-0. Brooke Beezer from Corey Chevery at 17:10 creates a closer game after 20 minutes of play. It was a power play. It was an even strength goal for Beezer, her first of the season, and that made it 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal in the first period favored Montreal 10-7. Opening up the second period, it was Megan Arts, her first of the campaign, from Caroline Prévost, and Janelle Cohen-Chuck at 4:26, and then Shannon Molson scoring from Alyssa Baldwin at 7:35 on the power play. That gave Toronto its first lead of the hockey game at 3-2. But then 24 seconds later, Kim Deschênes scores unassisted, and that makes it 3-3 after 40 minutes of play. The Toronto Furies outshoot Montreal 13-7 in the second period for a game total of 20-17 in favor of the visitors. So 3-3 after 40 minutes of play in a very, very entertaining hockey game so far here at the Étienne Desmarteaux Arena. We're going to take a quick pause and come back in a few moments' time with our second period intermission. It is Montreal 3, Toronto 3 after 40 minutes of play. This is CWHL Hockey on SSN.
The league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics. And at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes down. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics. And at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blades.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics. And at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Blais!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
I've been in the league for 2 years now, and I've seen such a tremendous growth from the beginning, and I know that this can go so much further. So come watch this hockey. It's something that you're not going to see elsewhere other than the Olympics. And at the end of the day, those girls have to be in a league, and they play in the CWHL.
Finds, scores!
We live at a time when women are busy breaking barriers and building skills at an unprecedented rate. But the women of the CWHL are building skills faster and better than any other sports group in the world.
The accolades, and here we have a chance now to tie it up. Scores! Right there! Emmanuel Gray!
The Canadian Women's Hockey League, the CWHL, doesn't just provide top-level hockey. It provides a place for those top athletes to go for all those years between those international competitions where they can continue to compete at the top level.
Having the opportunity to put a goal in and experience kind of a little bit of what the Flames experience.
Oh, that got Cardell in the hand. Shot, scores! Upstairs and over the shoulder.
I think it was that first time in my career, at least, that I realized it's going somewhere, and we're really solidifying the notion that this is a league worth following. It's a league worth growing, and the talent and everything that surrounds that is here.
Patch, Julie Patch now. Patch leaves it for number 17. Shot, scores!
You know, we're trying to better the league and try to, you know, grow it, and hopefully we can inspire a couple of young girls to, you know, play NCAA hockey or national level hockey and pave the way. You know, we're trying to pave the way for them. So hopefully we inspired a couple of them to pursue their dreams of becoming a great hockey player.
Award trophy, here she comes now. Scores! Natalie Spooner! Toronto goes to the Clarkson Cup final and faces Digit Murphy's Boston Blaze.
Welcome back to the Etienne Desmarteau Arena for third period action. It is the CWHL Game of the Week on SSN. John Bauer, pleased to be joined by former Stars standout and current assistant coach for the McGill Martlet women's hockey program here in Montreal, Alyssa Chechere. Chech, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, John.
So it's 3-3 Montreal and Toronto through 40 minutes of play. What are some of your impressions of that crazy second period where Toronto scored 2 goals in a very short period of time, and then Montreal, Kim Deschênes, scoring 24 seconds after Toronto took the lead to even things up?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought there were some good plays being made, some good goals. Always nice to see. That's the beauty of the game, seeing those goals.
Well, we've got you here for a moment. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your career change. You're no longer playing for the Stars because you joined the coaching ranks in the CIS. You were previously in the CEGEP leagues as well. How important was it for you to, or how difficult of a decision was it to make the choice to stop playing competitively so that you could dedicate yourself to becoming a full-time coach?
Well, I graduated in phys ed, so teaching, coaching was always something that I really enjoyed. Luckily, it became something that I could make a career out of. Growing up, it was always girls can't make money playing hockey. Not playing right now, but coaching. So it kind of became At a certain point, it became an easy decision after I got over the fact that I'd have to stop playing hockey. I obviously loved playing for the Stars, but it was easier knowing that I'd be around hockey every day, and also that I had played there previously, so that made it a lot easier as well.
And we were talking off air about the fact that for young girls now who are growing up and aspiring to be a part of the pyramid of development. So we have amateur hockey, and then in Quebec we have the Cégep League, or as you come up through, you can have the provincial team programs, you can also have your club team programs, and then moving up into university sport in Canada in the CIS, or going to the NCAA if that's your chosen route. And then coming up to the top of the pyramid, which was university sport, and usually that's where it ended, except for those who were in the U18, U22 pool that were going to the national team, to the senior national team program. But now we also have the CWHL, the national team program, and on top of that, coaching opportunities for young women.
Correct. I think it's advancing. It has been a long process. People may say that it's been a long process. Possibly, but I think women's hockey is advancing quite rapidly right now. At the beginning stages, it may have been slow, but right now, I think that there's a lot more retired players like myself who go back and coach. More so in the States, there's more opportunities there, but I think slowly it's coming into the CIS, which is fantastic. And with a local team like Montreal here, that always helps for the players or like retired players like myself as well.
Well, and Julie Chu, who obviously still plays for the Stars, she's now coaching at Concordia as an assistant coach as well.
Correct, exactly.
So we have two assistant coaches who are either current or former members of the Stars as we get underway here in the third period, tied at 3 apiece. Molson in her own zone plays it up the far side and chipping it out past Carly Hill. That was Prévost for Toronto. Bette takes the puck at center ice, brings it in, wrist shot, goes off of Molson and wide. And now the puck is played up the near side. Prévost with it for Toronto, bringing it into the Montreal zone, going wide right side, trying to get around Carly Hill. She does behind the net, but then Hill does a great job just rubbing her off into the boards. Spooner comes up with it for the Furies. Centering pass broken up there by Chartrand, and Bette now will play it off of Blais at center and down the ice as Montreal goes for a line change early in period number 3. At center, skating it into the offensive zone, that was Balden, but she was taken off the puck by Tardif, one of your former teammates at McGill. And Bonello now will play it out to center on the left wing side. That is Arts, one of the goal scorers for the Toronto squad. Playing it in the offensive zone. Arts tips it away from Rougeau as she will play it back to Bonello at the blue line. Her shot is knocked down in front, and Marin will skate it out to center. Her intended pass on the right side for Dupuis was broken up. And now Marin has an open lane to skate it into neutral ice. The Stars going for a line change as Marin goes for a cross-ice dump into the right wing side. Rougeau, the rear guard, comes up and plays it in deep as the rest of her teammates now come over the boards. Bocchia tries to steal just inside the blue line as the puck comes out to center. Here is Prévost for Montreal. Over to Dagenet. The pass was in behind her. Beezer could not get away with the puck. And now the puck will actually hit a stick just inside the Stars' blue line, and that allows Fanny DeForge to come back the other way for Montreal. Beezer over the far side. The puck skips away from French, but coming up with it is Chevry. Chevry plays it off of the skate of Dagenet, and Allen gives chase. Allen up with it first in the far corner. She's taken off the puck there, and Prévost will play it off of the boards as French goes back inside her own blue line with 17:40 to go in period number 3. 3-3 is the score. Chevry will play the puck into the far corner and then go to the Toronto bench. Bocchia battling with French, and it will be Willette clearing it to the blue line. Keeping it in there is Zamora. Madimo behind the net with the puck. Madimo tries to come out. She'll play it back to the blue line. Bonham's shot is blocked, and here's Blais away on the right wing side. Blais coming in towards the goal. She goes. She is knocked off the puck. A great defensive play by Bonham, who came back to corral the disc. and then she tried to play it to her goaltender, but Kessler couldn't get her mid on it, and the play continues. Here's Chartrand with a shot, knocked down by Blais. Blais spins and fires it towards the goal. Bette comes up with it in the far corner. Skates it out to the half boards now, comes out to the right point position, top of the umbrella, over to the left side for Chartrand. Wrist shot, goes through, hits Blais in the skate, and bounces out in front of the goal, but it's corralled by Zamora, and she will play it out to center.
That was great speed by both teams on that one, on Blais' attack and Bonhomme coming back for the back check.
Willette brings it into the offensive zone for the Stars. It's chipped in deep by Chartrand. Bozic over to the far side for Spooner. Spooner will lift it out to center, right into the gloves of Chartrand. She has to wait, though, as Carly Hill was trapped in deep. And Bozic will play it into Montreal territory. Aron leaves the puck on a tee for Hill. She'll chip it ahead for Blais on the right side. Blais has Chu up the middle. She tries to give it to her and does. Julie Chu plays it into the right wing corner, tries to sidestep Vela as Chu comes up with it, plays it back towards the blue line, and it's just going to be out of the reach of Lorient Rougeau, so she will have to play it back into neutral ice. Chu will hammer it off the boards at the center red line. Molson breaks it up just inside her own line as Bozic up the near side out of the reach of Spooner. Rougeau springs Chu free on the left wing side. She'll gain the blue line and play it in deep and then go for a line change. Marin on the forecheck. Stacey Tardif keeps the puck in at the right point. Spinning away from Prévost. Here is Bozic behind her own net as Kim Deschênes, fresh set of legs out there for Montreal. Has the puck and then loses it just inside the blue line as Baldwin will play it in deep into Montreal territory as the puck takes a funny bounce off the boards. And I think Kat Héron is going to get a penalty here for interference. It'll be interesting to see who it is.
I'm not sure who they're going to call on that one. I think Spooner's getting that one.
Spooner's asking the referee, is it me that's getting the penalty for interference? Because the two of them collided at the side of the net, and Héron was not in the blue paint, which is the protected area.
Correct. It was an unfortunate bounce off the net there that created that little conflict there, and I'm not sure who I would have given it to on that one.
So Montreal goes to its 6th power play of the hockey game. 2 for 5 so far on the night. Montreal's most productive game thus far this season on the power play. A team that a year ago led the league in power plays. Has struggled a little bit coming into the game with only 4 power play goals, but give them 6 now at this point in time.
Because I'm not there anymore.
Maybe Vinny Davidson also might have had something to do
all
with
right,
that.
all right.
Bette is out there on the left side in front of the net. On the right side, it's Marin, and Willette will take the face-off for the Stars. Bette pulls it out of the circle, gives it to Julie Chu at the left point, to Chartrand, winding and firing it wide of the mark. It comes off the end boards, a crazy bounce that Bette almost came up with and had a vacant cage facing her, but she was unable to corral the disc. Here is Willette curling at center and going straight up the middle. Willette tries to play it over to the right side, goes off of Kowenchuk's skate as Marin tips it away from Bonhomme. Marin gives it to Willette. Willette at the goal line, now comes to the half boards, back to the line for Chartrand. She'll settle the puck down and the play a little bit. Marin gives it to Willette. Willette skates in off of the half boards, and she is taken down there by the captain Bonello as Arts will hammer the puck down the ice. Bette chips it to Marin. Marin in. Solo player rush. Tries to hit the far post where there was a little bit of daylight, but puts it just wide. Now the pass from Hill over to Dupuis, just onside. But Toronto comes up with it, and hammering it down the ice is Bozic. Rougeau backpedaling in her own zone with 50 seconds to go on the power play. 14 to go in the third period, where we are tied at 3 here at the Desmarteaux Arena. Glad you're along with us here on SSN on a wonderful Saturday in Montreal, and it is Sports Day in Canada, as the Stars will have to go deep into their own zone to start the rush back up with 30 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Rougeau, side steps Prévost, and will bring it into the offensive zone, but Prévost, good back check there, gets her stick on it, and springs herself free on the right wing side. She has Vela coming up the middle, past to Vela into the slot, but she was on her off wing and took the pass in her skates and couldn't get a shot away, shorthanded with 10 seconds to go in the penalty kill for Toronto. Provo for Montreal now, starting the rush up on the right side. She cuts inside, tries to feather it through for Rougeau. It will roll in on goal, and Kessler will put her big mitt on it to stop the play with 13:08 to go in the third period.
It's funny, you were mentioning before about women's hockey development and how Tardif is one of my teammates. And actually, there's quite a few on the Stars that were my teammates before playing with the Stars, and even before playing at McGill. We played at Dawson together. So it's just like a level that the level of hockey is just going up everywhere, and we end up playing in the Stars together still.
And the other part is the structure is now being put in place so that players can stay together longer and develop.
Correct, exactly.
Fanny DeForge and Vela get locked up just inside the Toronto blue line. I think DeForge is getting a penalty. Yes, she is. The arm of the back official is up. And Aron will touch the disc, and Toronto will go to its fourth power play of the game. They are 1 for 3 thus far in the contest. I'm not sure, Chech, but I think you were the leading penalty getter last year for the Stars.
Oh boy. Sure, this
there it is.
Well,
there it is, right there. 34 penalty minutes last year. And the only reason why I bring that up because I do believe that that Fanny actually had quite a few penalties last year.
Not
really.
as much as me, eh?
Not even.
I'll see. I wanted to finish high somewhere in my career, so.
Well, you did have a shorthanded goal, which was amongst the league leaders.
Really? I don't even remember that.
If I'm not mistaken,
Typo.
It was against Boston. No, I called that goal. I do recall you scoring that shorthanded goal here. Carly Hill will lift the puck down the ice as Montreal is shorthanded. Spooner will go back into her own zone. It is Spooner, Koachuk, and Prévost up front for Toronto on this power play. As Spooner tried to get around Chartrand, she was forced off the puck. Bozic and Allen on the blue line on this number 1 power play unit for Toronto. Chu and Deschênes up front on the PK for Montreal. Rougeau and Chartrand on the blue line as Chartrand will go back in the right wing corner in her own zone, pick up the puck and play it off the boards, and down the ice it goes. Here's Julie Chu. Chu's got a breakaway. Julie Chu, short-handed, going towards the goal. Wrist shot, and it goes just wide of the mark. Rougeau now pinching in. Koenchuk battling for the puck along with Allen. As the puck comes through, here's Bette towards the goal, goes the short side and almost tucks it over the pad of Kessler, but she kept her skate on the outside of the net to take away what little daylight there was and to keep this game knotted at 3.
Bette has kind of a history of coming back on that on that side would be a strong side, but trying for the weak side, but then quickly coming back on the goalies on their strong side. She usually scores though.
Bonello in her own zone, 34 seconds to go on the Toronto power play. Hill will play it ahead for Willette. Willette curls and brings it in short-handed. Going wide, left side around Molson. Now behind the net she goes. She'll bring it out the far side. Baldwin takes her to the boards. Bonello takes her to the wall as well. And now Toronto finally comes up with the puck with 15 seconds to go in the power play. Willette is unrelenting as she continues to fight after that puck. Skating it to center is Molson. Molson's lead pass is broken up just inside the blue line of the Stars by Carly Hill, and she'll play it down the ice, and that will do it for the penalty to Fanny DeForge.
I'm not sure there was much of a threat on that power play. Either they couldn't get set up or Montreal's PK was just a bit stronger.
Here is Deschênes. She scored a pair of goals, springing Marin free on the left wing side. Noemi into the left wing corner. She'll play it in behind the net. Here's Kim Deschênes. She's playing some inspired hockey this evening. Reminds me of her days with the Carabins. Chevery now has it for Toronto, skating it to center. And she will feather it into the offensive zone. 10 minutes and 5 seconds to go in period number 3. We're still knotted up at 3 on a crazy second period where Toronto and Montreal scored 3 times in the span of 4 minutes. Wilson couldn't come up with a puck. Bonhomme over to the far side. Beezer now with it. Down low behind the net. That is Carrie Madimo. She'll leave it there for Wilson. Wilson and Tardif locked up in a battle behind the cage. As Madimo is knocked to the ice. And up with it is Beezer. She'll leave it there in the corner. Dagenet is hit awkwardly into the end boards, but she was able to get her hands up to protect herself. And out to center, here's Julie Chu on a solo player rush. She'll feather it into the right wing corner and go for a line change. Spooner skating it out to center on the right wing side. Spooner into the offensive zone. Dishes off right side for Wilson. Katie Wilson loses it, and here's Emily Bacchia. Passes over to the right side for Provo. Provo couldn't get around Molson there. And now here's Natalie Spooner. Coming back up the middle, tries to cut wide right side, but will send it into the far corner. Vela now hammers it in on goal from a sharp angle. And a nice stop there by Heron. And she will hold on with 8:48, a palindrome on the scoreboard. And 3-3 is the score.
Yeah, it's a good pace right now. It's fun to see. I think the last half of this period is going to be pretty exciting. We'll see what happens after that.
A reminder, fans, that the next time the Stars are at home is on Saturday, January the 3rd, when they host the Brampton Thunder in the first of 2 games. That's a 6 p.m. start, and we'll have that game here on SSN for you. Here's Bette in to Chartrand in front. She tips it just the wrong way. She got her stick on it, but tipped it out to the near corner as opposed to in on goal. Behind the net, here's Dupuis. That's Blais battling for the puck. Willette hammers it from a sharp angle. Big rebound, corralled by Spooner, and back she comes the other way.
Bette was waiting on the back door on that one.
Spooner comes in, right side, battling with Willette. Willette sends her into the boards, and now Chartrand comes up with it. That was a good hit along the wall by Caro.
Yeah, good aggressive one.
Blais into the offensive zone, but coming back to play it there is Bonello. She'll sidestep Bette, and she will have a head full of steam out to center, but makes the pass just in behind her teammate. That was Prevost.
Prevost has a little classic split there. That's happened to her quite a few times playing in the CWHL. She played for the Stars before Toronto, and that's something that she does pretty often.
Marin, back to the blue line it goes. Oh, plays it in deep into the far corner. Dupuis with Julie Chu and Noémie Marin out there. Here's Chu behind the goal. Reverses it back the other side, and Ann-Sophie has to keep it at the right point, and she turns it over. Here comes Arts. Megan Arts in left side, winds, and a good stop by Rougeau, who got back and got her stick into the shooting lane to deflect the puck out of play.
That was very well played by Rougeau. She's got quite the history playing for Cornell before, and she won gold medal at the Olympics this past Olympics in Sochi. She played that 2-on-1 very well. Took away the pass, but also got on the shot.
So we'll face it off to the right of Kat Heron, and it is controlled by the Stars. Behind her own net, coming up the near side is Bro, and she will play it out to center. It rolls all the way in on goal, and Kessler taking no chances as Bacchia comes in. She puts her glove down and freezes the play. 7:07 remaining in regulation time. Toronto has played 2 games to the shootout this year. They're 1-1 so far. A loss at Calgary and a win over Brampton in extra time. So actually going to the shootout, not just overtime.
So it's a 5-minute overtime?
Yes, it is.
4-on-4? No, stumped you on that one.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to ask that follow-up there, Chech. To be honest with you, I'm not sure, but we will find out if this game's tied.
Right.
Maybe the CHL Insider will be able to tweet us something while we're here. 6:30 to go in the third period. 3-3 is the score as the Stars will start the rush up. Stretch pass up the middle. Here's Fanny DeFort splitting the D, trying to get to the goal. Good play there by Bonello to go down and knock the stick of DeFort at the same time that she was trying to shoot the puck.
Good pass by Carly Hill on that one.
Here's a long lead pass up the left side. Prévost is offside as it went off of Dagenet's skate just in time, or else she was free and off to the races. This game's starting to open up a bit, and now Bette is offside.
It's an icing call.
Oh, sorry, that is correct. It's an icing call. I thought, yes. Been a long week. It's been a long week.
Don't worry, that's why I'm here.
6 minutes to go in the third period. 3-3 is the score, as we'll face it off to the left of Kat Heron. Willette will take it against Vela. And it's locked up there momentarily. Vela falls on the puck. Prévost almost came up with it. as the puck comes over to the near boards, and Caro Ouellette will skate it out to center. Bozek will play it back in. It goes off of Tardif. Tardif tries to prevent Prévost from getting the puck, and she does, as Bette will now start the rush up for Montreal in on the left side. She'll roll the puck around the boards to the far side. Here's Blais. Blais to Ouellette. Ouellette back to the blue line to Chartrand. Chartrand cross ice to Tardif. Tardif looking for a pass. There was one right in front for Ouellette, but a good job by Bonello to get out and cover the big forward for Montreal. Bozek skates it to the blue line and out to center. She's knocked down, but Spooner comes up with it. She'll sidestep Tardif. Here's Spooner, 2-on-1. Spooner to the goal. Wrist shot blocker stopped by Herron. She'll play it into the far corner. That was a quick snapshot there by Spooner that the Stars tender was just able to get the blocker out on. Here's Julie Chu back the other way. She has to peel off, go to the corner, and back to Bro. She goes with the pass. Kowenchuk will knock it down and play it out to center, and now she'll backhand it deep into Montreal territory. 4:40 to go in the third period. We're still tied at 3. As Noémie Morin will chip it off of the boards, and Dupuis will play it in deep into Toronto territory. Molson up the near side. Kowenchuk can't come up with it, but on the follow-up attempt, Molson will clear it out to center. Laurent Rougeau will drive it back in deep as Montreal sends a couple of new skaters over the boards. As Allen has it into the offensive zone for Toronto. Good check there by Deforge as she will move the puck up the ice. Deschênes gets it into the offensive zone, but Toronto is up with it. Here's French. Pass up the middle for Allen, and Allen didn't see Deforge coming on the other side. Here is Deschênes in, wrister, stopped by Kessler. Deschênes with it again in the far corner, being bothered there by Bonello. She'll leave the puck there for Provo. She runs into Bonello, and then she knocks down French. Here's a centering pass by Deschênes, and a good play there by Carrie Madimoy, to clear the puck out of the slot, and shot goes wide, but jumping on the puck as it comes off the dasher was Kessler. She'll hold on. 3:31 to go in regulation time.
It's nice to see that the game is getting a little more aggressive, and not only are the players getting more aggressive, but there's less penalties being called in terms of dirty plays. It's just a more aggressive play in all.
And it's clean.
Yes. It's nice to see that the girls can play that. I know firsthand, but not everyone knows that.
Prévost up the far side. We'll get it out to center. Carly Hill settles the puck down, spins and fires it ahead for Blais. She has her pocket picked. Here's Vela in over the line to Spooner. Right side, takes the rising shot, just misses the far corner of the net. As Blais tries to get it past Molson, who pinches in. And now it is chipped out to center. It's a 3-on-1, 2-on-1 now for Montreal. Ouellette, right side, Bette to the goal. Ouellette with a shot. Kick stopped by Kessler, and the rebound goes into the far corner. Back to the blue line, it goes to Carly Hill. Over to Dagenet. Sarah Dagenet puts it on a tee, slaps it towards the goal. It's knocked down in front by Megan Bozek, and she'll bring it to the blue line. But Blais comes up with it. Here's Bette, tries to go in front for Ouellette. Prévost will play it in on her own goalkeeper. And a good job by Kessler to hold on for the whistle with 2:40 to go in the third period. A reminder, fans, for those of you in the Montreal area, the next game for the Stars, not the next series, which is Brampton, but tomorrow afternoon these two teams will face off again at 1 o'clock. And other games in the CWHL coming up, just underway actually, in Boston. Brampton is in Beantown to take on the Blades, and then tomorrow afternoon they will play at 12:30 at UMass. Here's Julie Chu off the face-off, plays it in behind the net for Marin. Marin couldn't get her stick on it as the puck jumped over his stick, and Bonhomme will play it ahead to Kowenchuk, and she will ice the puck as she tried to spring free at center, Megan Arts.
Also, another reminder for fans, especially in Toronto, the first ever All-Star game is in December 13th. They're playing at the Air Canada Center, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, a 1 o'clock game just before the Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, excellent. And it's free admission, right?
That's correct. All you have to do is go to the CWHL website, www.cwhl.ca, to register, saying that you want to come. It's general admission seating, And there's upwards of like 6,000 or 7,000 commitments already for the game. So it's
that's awesome.
It should be a packed lower bowl at Air Canada Centre, which will provide a great atmosphere for the players. Don't forget, fans, you also have the chance to vote for the captains of the team. Now, I think that the two co-founders of the league, Sammy Jo Small from Toronto and Lisa Marie Breton-Lebreu, would be two fantastic captains, and I have submitted my votes on the CWHL website, so I would strongly encourage everybody else to go and vote for the choice of captains for the All-Star game.
Yeah, that I think that'd be a great idea, especially for the first ever one, seeing as they're the ones that started this league. But yeah, definitely go vote. I think it's worth it. I think this is exciting. Definitely taking strides forward for women's hockey.
And the game will be on Sportsnet on that Saturday afternoon, as will the as will the Clarkson Cup Championship game this year. Minute 30 to go in regulation time. Carol Ouellette starting the rush up for the Stars. She'll bring it into the offensive zone. Bette going towards the goal. Ouellette puts the brakes on, comes over to the near side. Carly Hill, wrist shot goes wide. Puck rolls over to the far side. Allen's going to get to it for Toronto, and she will skate it out to center, and then she falls over Bette. As Chevrolet now battling for it. Beezer just inside her own blue line. Plays it back to Bozic. Bozic over to Bonello. Bonello will skate it out to center. A minute 10 to go in regulation time. Bonello slap shot goes into the shin guards of Cathy Chartrand, and now Ouellette will tip it ahead at center. Bozic inside her own blue line. She has Vela with her. Ouellette uses the big reach of her stick to knock the puck back deep in Toronto territory. 50 seconds remaining in regulation time. Overtime looming large in this contest as we're tied at 3. Here's Kim Deschênes. Can she get the hat trick? She plays it back to Julie Chu into the slot, who goes back into the corner on the near side. Chartrand at the point, trying to keep the puck in, but it pops free. Here is Chu in, fakes the shot, dishes to Deschênes on her off wing. Deschênes tries to feather it through in front for Marin, but that doesn't connect. Prévost on the far side as Chu steals. Here's Deschênes. Deschênes in front for Marin, and she's trying to go back for Deschênes as Bozic was knocked down in front, and Deschênes could not pull the trigger as the puck was just in behind her. 15 seconds to go in regulation time. Spooner turns the puck over. Marin gives it to Chu. She'll tip it in deep, or not in deep, excuse me, as it's hammered down the ice by Bozic. As time will expire, we are going to overtime.
Well, this could be exciting. We know it's 5 minutes. We're still gonna. I'm pretty sure in the past it's been 4-on-4. We've been playing with the Stars. We went into a few overtimes. My last game as a Star was last March, Clarkson Cup against Toronto, actually. We ended up losing in shootout that game, but we did go into overtime before that.
Yep, Cohen Chucks opened the scoring 26 seconds into the game, and then at 2:30 of the third period, it was Emmanuel Blais that tied the score up, and then Natalie Spooner with the shootout winner. She was the only person to bulge the twine in the shootout in that contest.
Correct. Had I known that would have been my last game as a Montreal Star, maybe I would have pushed a little harder to end up going in the shootout on that one. Not saying that they would have let me, but...
Well, let's not kid ourselves. Carol Ouellette, Ann-Sophie Bette, Sarah Vaillancourt, those are three pretty good snipers that were sent out there in the shootout, and Kessler was huge in that game as well for Toronto. In fact, Sammy Jo Small split the duties with her in the regular season last year, and so far this season Sammy Jo was injured, not in the lineup tonight, but it was Kessler who ran the table during the Clarkson Cup tournament last year for Toronto. She played every minute for the Furies in that tournament. So, good young star between the pipes.
Yes, she definitely is a very strong goalie. And as we're looking at the ice now, there are only 4 Montreal Stars players on the ice. So we're going to go with 4-on-4 for 5 minutes.
And according to the shot totals, in the third period, the shots favored Montreal 9-1 for a game total thus far of 26-21. So Ouellette and Bette will start up front for Montreal. Tardif and Rougeau on the blue line. For Toronto, it's Spooner along with Prévost, Bonhomme, and Molson are tending the blue line for the Furies. Here is Willette in. She's got Bette going towards the goal. She tried to feather it across to Rougeau, and Molson breaks it up. Bonhomme up the left side. Stretch pass for Prévost. Prévost curls, leaves it for Spooner. Spooner brings it in over the line, into the slot. Bonhomme with a shot! Had a good stop by Héron, who went down to the butterfly.
That was a good zone entry by Toronto there. Good attack off the rush.
And a great snapshot by Bonhomme, who came in seemingly out of nowhere to join the rush. Chu now out there with Marin. Same, and the blue line for Montreal is Hill and Chartrand. Toronto also changing things up with Cohen Chuck out there with Arts. And on the blue line, it's Bonello and Bozic. Marin on the left wing side for the Stars. Puts the brakes on just inside the blue line, gives it to Chartrand. Right side for Carly Hill. Hill with a wrist shot towards the goal. Marin couldn't get there in time to put her stick down to tip it in the back door. Chartrand pinching in. Gives it to Marin. Marin bats the puck forward with her hand as Chartrand plays it, so the faceoff will come out in neutral ice. .407 to go in overtime. And you know, Chech, the game started off slowly. The first period there was a lack of flow, and even really until that crazy mid part of the second period. But since that point in time, there's been a really nice pace to this hockey game.
Yeah, and the speed and the pace of it is kept up throughout the last half of the game, which is nice to see.
Betty de Chartrand in front! Had a great stop there by Kessler.
I think that's really important for goalies at this stage, is to move them laterally. So that pass that's coming low from Bette across the slot there, and shot from Chartrand. I think that's really important with the high caliber goalies in this league.
We want to give a shout out to Jordana Peroff, former Toronto Furies player who is over in Italy playing hockey now. Maybe tuning in this evening as Toronto brings the puck in over the line. Allen with a shot that is tipped aside by Héron. As Rougeau leaves it there, playing it over to Tardif. Tardif has to sidestep the check of Vela, and she is able to protect the puck as Vela tried to spin around her. Allen on the forecheck. Rougeau with it, spins away from her, and now she will start the rush up for the Stars with 3:25 to go in overtime. Bette, kiss pass for Willette. Willette brings it over to the left wing side. Willette in. Willette puts the brakes on. She looks for somebody in front of the net. Will now play it to the half boards for Provo. Provo tries to play it back to the blue line. Chartrand, it will peel back to provide some protection as Spooner is on it for Toronto. Natalie Spooner into the offensive zone, faces a wall of red jerseys. Drop pass to Prévost, and Prévost just inside the blue line keeps it onside. Good second effort there to keep the play alive. Centering pass for Spooner, that is knocked away, and Bonhomme will have to play it at center. Curling it at center, that is Bozic. Bozic up the middle. It's tipped into the offensive zone by Prévost. Hill back into her own zone for Montreal. 2:39 to go in overtime. Pass up the middle, tipped by Spooner. Comes over to the near side as Carly Hill picks up her own pass. Hill, drop pass for Chu. Chu driving to the net, takes a rising wrister. Rebound is corralled by Hill, but she is knocked down and couldn't extend the play as Bozic comes up with it for Toronto. Bozic into the offensive zone she goes for the Furies. Bozic lost a handle on the puck, and here's Carly Hill. She will lift it up safely up the right side. Here's Kim Deschênes looking for the hat-trick goal and maybe the winner here. Deschênes juking and jiving, can't get through the last player back, and that was Shannon Molson as Toronto brings it back out to center. Janelle Kowenchuk in over the line. She'll take a wrist shot through, trying to get the goal post. Oh, she beat Héron and could not beat the iron. Here is Rougeau on the near side. She'll play it back in deep for Tardif. Tardif sidesteps the check of Arts with 1:40 to go in overtime. So Toronto comes within an inch of ending this hockey game in the extra frame. Bonello will play it in deep. Rougeau back giving chase for Montreal. She seals Bonello off from the puck. Bette will throw it up the middle, and it is kept onside just momentarily. But here's Carol Willette to Laurent Rougeau. Rougeau in. She is knocked down, and she will escort herself and Tara French into the net as the fans are wishing for a penalty. on that rush with 1:17 to go in overtime.
That was good support by Rougeau on that rush. She's a defense and ended up right in front of the play with the puck. I think that might have been a pretty good call. She went hard to the net. The other player was trying to stop her, and not everyone's agreeing with that, but I think at this stage of the game, it's a safe call.
In the first period, that might have been a penalty.
Yeah, maybe.
but you're right. You know, both players were driving hard towards the net. I don't necessarily think there was
No.
an infraction either. Here is Chartrand at center with 1:15 to go in overtime to Ouellette. She'll bank it off of the boards. Caro Ouellette tries to get around Bonhomme, but she is separated from the disc. Allen can't clear it. Chartrand to Hill, winding and shooting, and stopping it is Kessler, and she will hold on. No traffic in front. Bete was about a half a second away from providing the screen as she was cutting left to right in front of the netminder.
I think Bete was hoping for like a shot pass going out right off her stick so she could tip it in.
Ouellette and Bete, Chartrand and Rougeau for the Stars. Prévost and Spooner for the Furies. Bonhomme and Molson out there, but Montreal has called a timeout. So now as a coach on the bench, you've got a face-off in the offensive zone in overtime. What are you looking to do?
There's about a minute left. It's 4-on-4, so obviously you want to create some attack, but you want to create movement as well. So bring the puck up to the top. The low to high it isn't easy to defend, so bring the puck up to the top and generating some shots with some activity in front of the goalie would be the best bet at this point. But pretty much trying to get the shots off. Bring the puck to the net. There's a minute left, so want to generate attack.
And look at the rear guards that you have out on the ice right now. Cathy Chartrand and Lauriane Rougeau, two very, very powerful shots.
Powerful shots, but also very offensive players.
Chu lost the face-off there to the Toronto forward, Prévost. Prévost comes over to the near side, can't get it past Chartrand as we are inside a minute to go in overtime. Julie Chu will wrist the puck back in. Bete giving chase, coming in off of the right side. Wilson plays it away from her. Prévost will chip it out to center. Rougeau backpedaling towards her own blue line, comes over to the near side for Chartrand. She'll bank it off of the boards. Molson comes up with it, gives it to her blue line partner, Tessa Bonhomme, and she'll skate it out to center. Molson plays it into the left wing, into the right wing corner on the cross ice dump in, and the puck is locked up underneath the boards. Neither player was able to jam it free as Tessa Bonhomme actually had to reach underneath the boards and pull it out of the Zamboni entrance.
So now Toronto's in the same position Montreal was just in about 30 seconds ago. So we'll see what they can generate on this. Right now they have 5 players on the ice, so they'll get someone off.
Now, would you call a timeout if you were Summer West?
With 25 seconds left? Yeah. See what you can do, set something up. It's 25 seconds. That also gives the defending team a chance to figure stuff out as well, so I don't know what point you'd want to take.
Off the face-off, Toronto controls. Kowenchuk with a shot. That is kicked aside by Heron. 20 seconds to go in overtime. Kowenchuk with it again at the point on the near side. Tries to play in deep. Here's Ouellette. Ouellette to Chartrand. 2-on-1 for Montreal. Chartrand in. Pass across for Marin just out of her reach. 9 seconds to go in the period as Bozic will settle the disc down. Here's Toronto. One last chance. They're on a 2-on-1. Prévost with a shot. And it's stopped by Heron with 1.7 seconds to go in overtime.
That was a great chance by Montreal, and then a great decision by Prévost to get a shot off that rush to maybe set up a face-off. See, and there goes that timeout we were just discussing about.
So Summer West, who was in her 3rd year as the bench boss of the Furies and led them to a championship in her sophomore year, has called timeout with 1.7 seconds to go in overtime. So barring a face-off shot right off of the draw, we are most likely looking at the shootout here.
Correct. That could always be exciting, depending on who goes out there. We got a lot of very, very good options on both sides.
So the face-off to the right of Heron. Toronto's going to load up on the right side. Bozic, Spooner, will be going towards the goal. Cohenchuk can't get the shot away as Willette did her job on the faceoff and locking her up, and we are going to the shootout. And this will be the third time this season that Toronto will go to the shootout. They are 1-1 on the campaign, having defeated Brampton, but having lost to Calgary.
Third time in how many games?
5 games. This is their 5th game of the season.
So they're experienced?
They are.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, but do you know how many shooters?
This I do know. It is a best of 3.
Okay.
That one I already had in my pocket. Although I see May Ewing's talking with the Toronto GM Rebecca Davies, because it happens so seldom for Montreal.
Right.
That they go to the shootout. So Toronto so far this season in the shootout, they're 3 for 5 in shooting. They are, where are they here? In the shootout against shots. Trying to decode the statistical package that we put together here for ourselves. Toronto, 5 shootout chances against. Okay, something's not making sense here. Toronto is 2-0 in the shootout this year. They beat Calgary and they beat Brampton, and they lost their last 2 games to Boston in regulation time, and that's why they're 2-2 on the season. So they are 3 for 5 in the shootout this season. And if I take a look at the, I don't think I have the individual statistics here, who is shot, but what we do know is that Toronto will be shooting first here, since Héron is in between the pipes. So we're in the shootout here. 3-3 is the score. And I'm going to go out on a limb. Maybe have to get some 649 numbers tonight, but I'm going to say that the final score in today's game is 4-3.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yeah. So the first.
Sorry. I would go with Prévost first for Toronto.
I think that's who's going to come out here. Although now both goalkeepers are in their nets, and actually Montreal will shoot first. So it will be Laurent Rougeau coming out to shoot first for the Stars in round 1 of the shootout. Fans rising to their feet here at the Desmarteaux Arena. 3-3 the score, round 1 of the shootout. Shooter number 1, Laurent Rougeau number 5 for the Stars. Against Christina Kessler of the Furies. Kat Héron has to go over to the bench. And here we go. Rougeau picks the puck up. Goes wide left side, now cuts back across the green, straight up the middle. Towards the goal, wrist shot, and it goes off of the glove of Kessler and a stop. So Montreal 0 for 1 in the shootout.
Like I was saying earlier, it's really important to move the goalie laterally. If you don't make a move quick, you're not going to get much of an opening in the net on that. So you got to make a little move before you take that shot.
Caroline Prévost shooting for Toronto to wrap up round number 1 of the shootout. Here's Prévost coming in towards the goal, wrist shot straight into the blocker of Héron, and it's 0-0 through 1 round.
I'm glad she proved my point on that one.
Ann-Sophie Bate will be shooting for the Stars. Last year, she was the second shooter in the shootout in the Clarkson Cup semifinal and was denied by Kessler. So let's see if Ann-So can beat Kessler this time. She's got a head full of steam, going straight towards the goal, cuts it a little bit to the left side. Now jukes, jives, and backhand shot. His glove stopped by Kessler, and she holds on. And Montreal 0 for 2 in the shootout, as Natalie Spooner, who scored the game winner last year in the shootout, comes over the boards.
Yeah, we're seeing quite the repeat from last year.
In the Clarkson Cup semifinal. Spooner goes wide to the right, now towards the goal. She holds, she shoots, she scores on the backhand, going top shelf. And now Montreal must score to force the shootout to its regulation limit. And it will be Caro Ouellette, who was denied last year as the first shooter in the shootout in the Clarkson Cup semifinal. To force this to go the distance, here's Ouellette. She shoots it over the glove of Kessler, but misses the mark, and Toronto comes into Montreal and wins the hockey game 4-3 in the shootout. The defending Clarkson Cup champions beat Montreal once again in the shootout.
There you go. It's just a reminder of the semifinals from last year, but also of how the quality of hockey is just it just continues to go. It doesn't end in regulation time. It goes right to shootout. I think it was a great game by both teams, and there's a rematch tomorrow at 1 p.m. My game's at 3.
That's right. So Toronto defeats Montreal 4-3 in the shootout. Let's take a quick rundown of the scoring summary in today's game. The Stars jumped out to a 2-0 first period lead on power play goals by Kim Deschênes from Maria Provost and Cassandra Dupuis at 5:14. Noémie Marin follows up at 15:09 from Julie Chu and Ann-Sophie, and that makes it 2-0. But at 17:10, Corey Chevery steals a puck in the offensive zone and passes to Brooke Beezer, who beats Kat Heron to cut the lead to 2-1, and that's where we stood after 20 minutes of play. Megan Arts opened up the scoring in the second period for Toronto from Caroline Prévost and Janelle Kowenchuk at 4:26, and then just over 3 minutes later, as Shannon Molson scores on the power play, Alyssa Balden getting the helper on that. But then 24 seconds later, Kim Deschênes ties the game up at 7:59, and that was all the scoring in regulation time in the hockey game as we went through overtime and into the shootout. And Natalie Spooner, for the second consecutive game, if we go back to last year's Clarkson Cup semifinal, scores the only goal in the shootout as Toronto wins 4-3. The shots on goal in the first period, Montreal 10, Toronto 7. The second period, Toronto 13, Montreal 7. In the third period, Montreal 9, and there's been a revision. 6 for Toronto in the third period. In overtime, Toronto outshoots Montreal 4-2 for a game total of 31 for Toronto and 28 for Montreal. Power plays a key factor in this hockey game as Toronto 1 for 4, Montreal was 2 for 6. So Montreal falls 4-3 to the defending Clarkson Cup champions as we are awaiting the announcement of the 3-star selection for tonight's game, which should be coming up here in just a moment's time.
Any guesses on your part? You can't look down there.
No. So the third star is Tessa Bonhomme. The second star is Kim Deschênes, which makes sense, scoring 2 goals for Montreal tonight. And the first star so Natalie Spooner getting the first star. She did play a solid game.
She did win the game.
She did. I thought that actually somebody who played really well was Megan Arts. That was somebody who I was going to pick in my 3-star selection. Kim Deschênes was a no-brainer for Montreal. I also am partial to goaltenders, as you know, and I would have actually maybe considered giving Christina Kessler a star because some of the saves that she had to make, especially in that third period against the Stars, were top caliber.
Yeah, I think they had some good rushes, good opportunities, and she stood strong for her team. So,
tomorrow afternoon, the rematch of this 2-game weekend set as Toronto will be back in town at 1 o'clock. Another game going on in the CWHL right now. Brampton is in Boston. They will be playing the back end of that weekend set tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. And then the league goes into a bit of a break. The All-Star game coming up on the 12th of December at Air Canada Centre. Remember, a reminder to go to CWHL.ca to be able to reserve your tickets. It's general admission seating in the Air Canada Centre for that All-Star game in Toronto. And we sure hope that you're going to be able to join us for that. And SSN will be back with coverage of the league when we start back up in January. Our next telecast for the Stars, it comes your way on Saturday, January the 3rd, a 6 p.m. puck drop when the Brampton Thunder are in town. And, check out ssncanada.ca as well as the CWHL website for more information about all the upcoming broadcasts here on SSN. Plus, also, don't forget, Calgary has their audio cast as well of games throughout the year. Tonight's game has been brought to you in part by Gong Show Lifestyle Hockey Apparel, by Bauer Hockey, proud equipment suppliers to the CWHL, by Bridge Force, Sportsnet, the television partner of the CWHL and home of the All-Star Game, Tim Hortons, always fresh. Tim Hortons, proud to support the CWHL. Under Armour, as well as WestJet, the official airline of the Canadian Women's Hockey League, and without them we could not get around to all the games. Winsport Canada, based in Calgary, proud sponsors. Molson Coors as well. We're very thankful for all the corporate partners, as well as Scotiabank, the title sponsor of the Clarkson Cup coming up in March. And finally, the Insurance Bureau of Canada, proud sponsors of the Canadian Women's Hockey League. So the final score in tonight's game here at the Étienne Desmarteaux Arena in Montreal, Toronto Furies defeat the Montreal Stars by a score of 4-3. On behalf of Alyssa Chechery, our color commentator, Matt Copeland, our technical director, and our entire SSN crew here in Montreal, this is John Bauer reminding you to join us on our next broadcast on the 3rd of January. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope to see you at the All-Star Game on the 12th in Toronto. And until then, we'll talk to you in the new year. Happy holidays, everyone. And thank you for joining us tonight.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
If you think texting in the middle of a game is a bad idea, what about texting while driving? Don't even think about it.
Drive now, text later, live longer. A message from Insurance Bureau of Canada and the Canadian Women's Hockey League.